Martian power.
Oi. Yeah. Greetings from planet Earth. Fuck you doing, mate? You having a good time, yeah? Yeah, you having a fucking good time, yeah? It's Monday, and we about to kick this week off right in the taint, you know what I'm saying? Kick this motherfucker off right. As always, shout out to Kamar Swain for providing the beat. That is Kamar Swain. You can catch him on Instagram or YouTube. That's martianpowers. Also, Fernando Montes. He was on episode 3. If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen. He's a barber, and you can book an appointment with him at nandothebarber1.booksy.com. That's nandothebarber1.booksy.com. And I believe he's running a special. If you mention the Devon Perception, you can get $5 off your haircut. That's nandothebarber1.booksy.com. Mention hi mom, hi dad, or the Devon Perception and get $5 off your haircut. So take advantage. Also, Greg Brooks, his EP Educated Weirdo is now out on multiple platforms like Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. Go catch him on YouTube at Growing Love, and you can see all his dance videos, all his skits, and his vlogs and stuff. So go support. That's all I could say. It takes a village, guys. Also, Gabriel Gerardo, still working on his computer. He can build you a computer. His freestyles are fire. Check out his freestyles on Facebook. And his Twitch feed. I'm not sure if he's still doing Twitch, but I know he used to. So go check that out. And my beautiful wife, Aaliyah. I don't know what I would do without you. So shout out to her. And also you can go support her here on the podcast or over at Buffalo Wild Wings. She'll be bartending or serving. So go out there, chill out at Buffalo's and ask for Aaliyah. And also Christian at I'm not sure how to say your last name, Christian. It's like Baldanama. And you could see him at Cotton Patch. Go let him take care of you, give you a nice experience. And last but not least, I'd like to thank all of you for listening, and all of you who have shown support, shown me love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I hope you stick with me through this journey. It'll be I got lots of plans for content coming out. So it's not just going to be this podcast. I want to get a vlog going eventually. I'm trying to get a nice little fitness channel going, cuz I don't know if you don't know me personally, not last year, the year before, basically, I lost about 75 pounds. And I did it all by myself, basically. And I can give you tips and advice on that, on exercises, on diet and everything. So if that's something you want to see, just message me. Message me on Hi Mom, Hi Dad / Devin Perception on Facebook. And if you haven't already, please go like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Hi Mom, Hi Dad / Devin Perception. If this is your first time rocking with us on a podcast, I hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast. I hope you go back and look at later episodes. And I hope you subscribe and share to your friends and get more people involved with this tribe that we're trying to get started. Because your tribe's everything. Surrounding yourself with good people, motivated people, people who want just to be the best version of themselves. Because that's the journey I'm on. I'm on becoming the best version of myself. So go out there and subscribe and share, please. And because good tribes bring good vibes, mate. They really do. And this week's podcast, I got a couple of topics I want to go through. You know, I've had not a crazy weekend. It's been pretty mild, I guess. I've just been chilling. But these are just some random thoughts that I jotted down. I'm gonna go through most of them, you know. I'll start with the one that happened today. Whenever I went to the gym. So yesterday was like my Saturday. The way my work schedule works. So Saturday, I'd just be chilling. I'll eat whatever the fuck I want. I'll chill. So I had some pizza and some like brownie bites. And it don't get me wrong, it smacked real good, you know. And what are you talking about? Oh, I'll tell you what I'm talking about, mate. Fucking woke up this morning. I was like, I need to go to the gym. I fucked off so much yesterday. Went to the gym, ran about a half a mile, then got on the treadmill. Ran for 5 minutes on that, got on the elliptical, hit about 5 minutes on that, and I got off and my stomach started. And mind you, I had already taken a shit before I went to the gym. Like, I woke up having to take a shit. Because when I eat a lot of food, I got to get that shit out of me. Is that a fucking lawnmower? Fucking lawnmower, man. But okay, so I get done, I'm sweating, you know what I'm saying? And I go and try and take this shit, and my stomach is hurting so bad, and I'm fucking sweating. Have you ever had to, like, ain't nothing worse than a sweaty, like, when you're sweating profusely and trying to take a shit. I remember it from whenever I was a kid. I'd be outside playing and be like, I gotta go take a shit. Sitting on the toilet, my ass cheeks and thighs are sweating on the seat. The sweat pouring off my face. And this is what's going on to me as I'm taking a shit at the gym. Like, it was so uncomfortable. I thought I just wanted to die. I just wanted to give up and just be like, boop, I'm done. I'm done with this. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to clock out. But I'm sitting here taking a shit. And, I mean, I probably sat there for a good 5 minutes. But I sweated for another 5 minutes as I sat there. And just sweaty shits, man. They're not fun, and I hate them. Do y'all ever have sweaty shits? Fucking, but I mean, yeah, that was just something I experienced today that I wanted to make sure to talk about on the podcast. Fucking uncomfortable, sweaty shits. But moving on, I just wanted to get. I've been real on the topic of uncertainty of, like, this podcast. So, I mean, I think I had the idea to do a podcast maybe in 2017. It was like whenever I was starting to try and lose weight. I thought about doing it. I just hadn't have any of the equipment, and I didn't really have the money to get it going either. But now that I got it going, it's just, I'm trying to be on top of it, you know, keeping content coming. And I don't know, I just feel so uncertain all the time. Like, I wonder I wonder how it's gonna do, because I really love doing this. Honestly, if this is all I had to do to support myself, I'd be a happy camper. If I just did podcasts, and because like this podcast isn't the only thing I'm trying to do. Like I want to get a vlog going. If I go on a trip, maybe vlog a trip. I don't know why I'm so spacey right now. I get like this every time I get on the podcast because it feels like I have to continually talk to keep people's attention. Otherwise, like if I have some pauses, then people will be like, nah, I'm done with this. And I mean, I know a lot of people probably don't get through the whole goddamn show most of the time. So, but the uncertainty of this podcast is, will it get to a point where this is all I have to do to support me and my family? If I'm doing podcasts and vlogs and whatever else that I have coming, because I kind of want to work on a cartoon. I want to work on music. I just want to be creative because I love being creative. It's not even work. I love putting in the work for that. And I'm going to keep the content coming, It's just, I don't know if people want to hear what I have to say or really care, because most of the people that probably support the podcast now just know of me. They probably knew me growing up, and they're like, oh, yeah, I guess I'll give it a listen, but I don't know how. I'm looking for those new people, because I feel like new people are more likely to show some support towards you, because they don't already have preconceived ideas about the person that you are. Because I know I've made a lot of people mad, especially in my coming of age of who I am now. Because I used to be kind of an atheist. I was a mean atheist. I've spent most of my time on social media, like telling people how dumb they were for believing in what they were believing in. And I've grown as a person, and I know that's not the right way to go about it. From me explaining why I was like that, it felt like I had been lied to my whole life or manipulated my whole life. And it wasn't even by people that knew either. They were also lied to and manipulated. And it made me mad that being different, like people treated me different as soon as I stopped believing in God. Like I had become less of a person or less moral of a person. And that made me kind of mad. It made me mad that people thought they knew what was going on. I mean, I still feel like that. I think it's more funny now. It used to make me angry, though, because I cared what people thought about me, at least. I don't really anymore. I've grown a lot as a person, and I'm way more mellow. You could believe whatever you want to, whatever helps you cope with existence. As long as you're not hurting other people or trying to put other people down, do what you want, man. And, like, there's no reason to go after Christians because, I mean, yeah, they have a lot of hypocrisy within what they believe and stuff like that, but still, they're still spreading love and trying to make the world a better place, and I can't hate on that. Can't hate on that at all. But I just had to grow a little bit as a person. Like, I had to understand the world around me a little better. So I hope that y'all don't, the people who know of me, I hope you don't think that I think if you believe in God that I think you're inferior to me or whatever. Everybody's the same in my eyes. And however people cope with their existence is none of my business. I don't care if you're preaching about Jesus. I don't care if preaching about Jesus and stuff like that helps you get through the day and makes you want to be a better person. Do that. I don't care if you smoke meth and go to work and you handle your business and stuff like that. I don't care what you do with your life. We're all the same, honestly. It's just whenever you start believing in that you're better somehow than other people for something, that's where you lose me. Like, I read this post the other day that talked about, I'm not going to get into that. But I hope that the ones who knew me and had a preconceived idea of me growing up, you give it a chance, listen to what I have to say, and I would please send in what you think. Like, if I cover a topic and you're like, I kind of disagree with that, send in what you think. I want to hear what everybody has to say. That's the only way I can grow as a person, is putting myself in other people's perspectives and showing empathy. I'm really good at showing empathy. So if you can make it make sense to me, you might change my whole life a little bit. So send it. Tell me what you think, If I cover a topic and you're like, I don't agree with this, don't be a dickhead about it, Just say, well, I don't know. You could be a dickhead. If I'm being a dickhead about it, you could be a dickhead about it. But yeah, the uncertainty, because I know, like, people who have preconceived ideas of me, they don't care, like, about helping me grow this tribe. And I mean, that's fine. You don't have to support it, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, if it does get to a point where I'm getting a nice following and then you try to tell me, oh, I always knew you were going to make it, or I knew you had something here. Like, I'm going to tell you, get the fuck out of my face, because I have stats. Like, I see the stats of my stuff and how many people watch it and how far they get through it and all that stuff. So, I mean, I know the ones who are supporting me right now, and the ones who are supporting me, I really thank you from the bottom of my heart. You make me want to keep going. I just wish I could. The only thing that sucks is, like, to reach new people, you have to have the people that are around you most of the time share it out a little more. That way it gets to newer people. I've gotten a couple of people from around the United States, that are following it, just from, like, I don't know, like Arkansas or up there, Hawaii or whatever, down in Mexico. I think it said there was some in Australia. But I'm just trying to reach new people, because I know the people I've been around, they already kind of know what I'm about and what I have to say, but I'm trying to get to newer people. That's why I'm asking for shares, honestly. It's not, I know it feels like a dirty thing to ask for, like, hey, can you share this for me? But honestly, if you think about it, it really doesn't cost anything to share it. So, which is why, like, I'm just trying to get to newer people, because I don't like having expectations. It'd be nice, like, with a new person, I know if they share it, oh, they really enjoyed it. If a person who knows me shares it, they could just be doing it out of, like, a place of pity. And I don't like that. So, moving forward, I wanted to talk about our generation. And we grew up, like, people who are in their early 20s, maybe I was born in 96, so that's all I could really speak for. But growing up, I mean, my first console was a Nintendo 64, then I had a PlayStation, and then a PlayStation 2, and then an Xbox 360, and now I have an Xbox One. It's just weird growing up. Like, my generation, we grew up with weird technologies. Like, think of how addictive video games were for a while. People would play all day on video games, all night. I know I did. And then they started coming out with phones. I think we were like, my first texting phone, I got it when I was probably around 13. I had a Rumor, an LG Rumor, the ones that slid and then there was a keyboard. And that made me not want to talk on the phone again. Like, just text me. Honestly, if you call me on the phone, it kind of feels like you're trying to trap me into something, to where, you know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody, just because I have a phone, like, I have to answer it. No, I'd never answer my phone, because most of the time it's scam calls anyways. So if you're calling me and you didn't text me, hey, I'm about to call you or whatever, I'm probably not going to answer, especially if I don't have your number saved. But if I have your number saved and you just call me and I don't feel like talking, which is most of the time, you should have just texted me. Like, I'll respond to a text way before I respond to a call. And I don't know if that's a good aspect. Like, and that's probably like the effect of growing up with text messages. Because if I would have just grown up with a phone, that's all I would have known is how to talk on the phone. But I grew up with, and don't get me wrong, like, I had to talk on the phone. Like, when I was younger, I still had to call a girl's house and ask their parents, can I speak to them? And can I speak to yada yada? I'm not going to drop any names, but can I speak to them? And then, oh, it was so awkward. It was so awkward. I hated it. And I just hate talking on the phone, period. I don't know why. It's just the way I am. And then, after texting, then they're going to throw in, basically, it's a computer. It's a little handheld computer that you can Google stuff. You can get on the internet, watch YouTube. Because before I had a smartphone, I would sit on the computer and I would watch hours and hours of YouTube. Like, I would watch other people play games. I would watch compilation videos. Like, I was just... And I think back now, like, how overly stimulated I was. I can only speak for myself, so I was just so overly stimulated. And now that I'm an adult, I know I've lived months without a phone, you know what I'm saying? But it's so much better when you do have a phone. It's just a way to keep yourself distracted a lot of the time. And you can also be really productive with it. Like, now I've been, like, checking stats and trying to figure out how to edit stuff. Because I got video for the podcast. The video's coming pretty soon. So I just got to get a decent camera, because I was going to try and record video for this episode. But I guess my camera is just too old, because it keeps... Like, I fully charged it, and then it died right after. And then put it on the charger for, like, 30, 45 more minutes. Took it off, and then tried to press record. And I got, like, 10 minutes into an episode, and then I looked up, and I was like, oh, it's not even... Like, the record button was on, but the minute, like, it didn't have any seconds, like, it was recording seconds or anything. So... But video's coming really soon. I'd say by the next episode... Because I'll probably do another one like Saturday or Sunday for at least the Devon perception. Hi Mom, Hi Dad will probably be tomorrow, and we probably won't have video unless I can get this camera to work. But video's coming very soon, guys. And, yeah. What the fuck was I talking about? I was talking about being overstimulated. Yeah. So, I mean... Yeah, just growing up with all this technology, you know, you could be really productive with it. But growing up with all this technology has to have some effect on us. It has to have, I'd say, a huge effect. I think that's why have such anxiety all the time. I feel like that's why I'm on autopilot most of the time. They hooked me when I was young, though. So, and we were the first generations to experience it. I was like 13, 14 whenever all this stuff started coming out. Like, that's whenever it started turning into an adult. So, I don't know. I feel like it really sucked. And I know that, like, technology isn't the only answers. Like, I started looking into the symptoms of CTE because I played football from 2nd grade all the way through 12th grade. And we started tackle in 4th grade. So 10 years of contact sports I know it had an effect on my brain. They say like 80% of kids who play at any level have some form of CTE. And I played linebacker and running back. Like, I was banging. I was banging into people all the time. He said, you was banging? What are you talking about? No, yeah. And some of the side effects are it just changes the way your brain processes chemicals. Like your chances for having anxiety or depression go up significantly. Chances of suicide, just all these things. And it's another thing I wish I wouldn't have partaken in growing up. Don't get me wrong, I love football. I loved playing and learning how to do it. But looking back now, if I could go back, I wouldn't play football again. I probably wouldn't play any sports, honestly. I would just focus on being creative, because that's what I really like. And I feel the happiness I feel when I'm creating something, especially something so easy like a podcast, like this just comes so naturally to me, just talking and giving my opinions about things. I do that all the time anyways. So yeah, it's one thing I wish I could go back and not have done. I would have focused on music, maybe if I would have gotten a podcast going back then, imagine where it'd be now today. But there's no reason to look in the past like that. The main thing I regret is what I did to my brain. Because I don't know if there is ways to reverse it. I know psilocybin can rewire the way your brain works. And I think that's why I am the way I am now. Because I'm nothing like how I used to be. To a certain extent, like, I'm still the same goofy person, but I've grown a lot. So, yeah, if I can go back with the knowledge that I have now, I probably wouldn't have played sports, which, I mean, I'm pretty sure if a lot of us could go back, there would be a lot of stuff we wouldn't do, you know, but, and it's, I was chunky back then, so sports was the only thing keeping me from being obese, because I was a full-on food addict back then. I didn't have any self-control. I didn't care. I didn't want to learn or anything. I was just a straight-up food addict. And it's weird because now it's so easy keeping the weight off. Like yesterday I had pizza. I'll have nachos every now and again. I get to be way more loose now with what I eat, and I still stay in between 160 and 165. And granted, the most I ever weighed was like 245. And that was like my freshman year in college. God, I got so big, man. And that was just, I think it came from a mixture, like, in high school, y'all probably don't know this, but in high school, that was like the darkest period of my life. And not like as soon as I got to high school too, because as soon as I got to high school, my great grandfather died, and he was like everyone's dad. Like he was everyone's like main father figure. Like my mom's, all her cousins, my sister. I was more of a great grandma person. Like my great grandma was basically his wife, the one who passed away. His wife, she was my rock, basically, but he was everybody else's rock. And don't get me wrong, I loved my great grandpa. But I just vibed more with my great grandma. But as soon as he passed away, that's when it was like the world started cracking around me, because my whole family fell apart. People didn't want to hang out with any, like, we stopped hanging out with each other, talking to each other. My mom and my stepdad at the time, they got a divorce. And he was the only father figure. Like my stepdad, he was the only father figure, because they were together when I was probably 7. So I knew him when I was 7, and then he came back when I was like 13, like 12 or 13. And then he was there up until like I was 15, as soon as I got to high school. And then they got a divorce, and then he went to jail. Oh, fucking hell. He went to jail, and after he went to jail, my mom sat us down and told us she had like stage 3 cancer, stage 2 or 3, ovarian cancer. And she was telling me that she took out enough money that we'd be able to pay the bills for the house, and she wanted me to make sure I keep my sisters together and finish raising them. And that was probably the hardest thing I had to deal with, is thinking my mom was going to pass away. Luckily, she didn't. She battled through and beat it, and it hasn't came back in a while. So that's one good aspect, you know. But just going through all of this, and I never really was taught how to cope with real shit, I guess. The way I handled things is I would go outside and play with my basketball goal. God. Or, sorry, it's my mom actually right now texting me. But, what was I saying? So, when all that happened, it was just, I never really was taught how to cope or how to deal with things. I would either go play basketball, go hang out with friends, or use humor to mask the emptiness that I was feeling. Because it felt like, up until that point, like I had such a close family. All around my family was close. We would meet up like every weekend. We'd all go to church together. My immediate family, like my stepdad, mom, and my sisters, we'd go on vacations. All went to sporting events. And then it all just came crashing down. And by the time I had graduated, my mom hadn't been done with the cancer yet, so she was pretty set on that she wasn't going to make it. And I understand. And she would go on trips a lot, so she wanted to go experience the world for a little bit. And, but just coming up, that was the darkest things I think I've had to deal with, because it felt like I just couldn't get a break. Like every year, something would just keep getting worse and worse and worse. And I developed really toxic habits on how to deal with things. And I didn't like the person that I was back then, because I was running from my problems instead of healing from them. And that's one thing my psychedelic experiences helped me with, is what life is and how to deal with it. And that sometimes things are good, sometimes things are bad, but it's just happening. And the only way to get through it is to accept and move forward. That's the big thing, is acceptance. Because I wouldn't accept a lot of the stuff. I felt like, just ignore it. Just ignore it and it'll go away. It won't go away, because every time you think about it, it's still going to open up that wound. Until you accept that that's reality now. That's reality now. And I can't remember what started this off, this rant that I went on. But yeah, if you knew me back then, like, you knew a really hurt person that just didn't want to feel alone. Because I did have abandonment issues too. Like, I had really bad abandonment issues. Because I didn't know my real dad. He left whenever I was like 1. So my abandonment issues, I put that on to like girlfriends, friends. I was just really scared to be alone. And I was really scared to feel what I was feeling. So I would use comedy or humor to deal with it. So, and that's not me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love using comedy and humor to deal with things, but I'm a very more balanced person. I feel like I've grown more than the average person my age, at least. And I've gotten a pretty good hold of life now. I think I figured a lot of the stuff out, and it's going to be pretty good, you know. I wanted to get into back to this whenever I was talking about people hesitant to share other people's things. Like if you see somebody, hey, share this for me, help me get some business or whatever. I feel like that's the famine mentality. And the famine mentality is basically people don't want to help other people eat because they're scared they won't be able to eat. If there won't be enough for them to eat. So you don't want to see somebody else doing good because it might take up the spot where you could have been doing good. And I don't think that's the way that it works, guys. Like, I think, especially with this internet and everything, we can all be eaten. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an outlet for everybody. Everybody's unique in their own way. And somebody's going to vibe with that. There's people out there that are going to vibe with the kind of person that you are. And trying to hold others down or not trying to lift other people up, it takes a village, man. It takes a whole village to get everything going. If you want to eat, it takes a village. You have to have hunters, you have to have gatherers, you have to have cookers, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has to work together to achieve a goal. And this famine mentality of, I want to see people do good, but I don't want people to do better than me. I feel like that's the mentality a lot of people have. And don't get me wrong, I used to have it. I used to feel like that. Like, I don't want this person to be doing better than me. But there's no reason to give any energy to that part of you. If I'm being honest, because it doesn't help you get anywhere. And it doesn't, if that person makes it anyways, you're just going to hate on them the whole time. What's that for? You could have been helping. They could have promoted you. You could have promoted them. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. If you see somebody out here putting in work to make something, and then you see it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. It's okay. Help them out. Give them some exposure. Because they're going to grow and they're going to sharpen that knife. They're going to sharpen that sword. They're going to keep crafting. And before you know it, it's going to be more than what it started as. Definitely. It's definitely going to be better than what it started at. And you help this person achieve that. And when you help somebody, I don't know about you, but whenever I help somebody and then they end up doing good, it's like a selfish thing to think, but I feel good that I was able to help them feel good. It gives me a fulfilling, like a purpose, that if I didn't do anything else that day, I helped that person forget about their problems just for a little bit and made them feel okay. Because that's what we all want to feel. I think that's what I want to feel. I just want to feel okay. And this lane that I'm in with this podcast, I got the vlog coming. I got the fitness channel coming. I want to get a cartoon going. I want to make music. I'm going to keep sharpening my tools until these tools are the only thing that I need to support me and my family. So if you're willing to go on that journey with me, and you're digging what I'm putting out, help me get there. So I feel like this is I didn't get to go through a lot of the stuff I wrote down, but I'll probably go through it tomorrow on Hi Mom, Hi Dad, because I've already done a TDP episode just the other day on Thursday. So I'll probably go through a lot of them with Aaliyah, because that podcast is way more funny. It's way easier to be funny whenever you have somebody to riff with. It's hard being funny by yourself because you're the only one sitting here laughing at your jokes and it feels dumb. But this is a good place to end it. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. Go check out the YouTube. Go check out everybody that I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. And I hope you have a fucking good day, guys. Stay snazzy. Stay trippy. And stay high.
Yeah.